Hey guys, so I'm Lainey, and if you did not know, May is Mental Health Awareness Month, and so I've been wanting to start a vlog and make videos for a while, but I never really knew what to talk about, and I figured since it's Mental Health Awareness Month, and I know quite a bit about that this would be a good place to start. Alright. So to start off, I want to discuss a few different types of mental disorders and mental illnesses that are a lot more common than you think. Um, and then a lot of misconceptions and things that people don't understand about them. To start, let's start with depression. And I'm sorry if I say something that you don't think is accurate, or if I forgot something, feel free to comment below. But seeming as I myself have major depression, I think I know a little bit about it. Some misconceptions that people have is that when you have depression, they think you're just sad. It's really a lot more than just being sad all the time. It's this overwhelming feeling of just emptiness, and you kind of just don't want to do anything. I myself, when I'm having really bad depression days, I won't want to get out of bed. I won't want to eat. But it's I kind of just want to sit there and sleep. But usually when you have depression, you have a lot of trouble sleeping. So, and another thing that people don't understand with depression is why you can't just be happy. They're just be happy, just be positive. You know, you can get through this. It'll be fine. You can't just cure depression with pure willpower as much as you want us to be able to, and trust me, we wish that we could as well, because we really don't want to feel this way. And what it is it actually takes a lot of therapy and usually medication. And I'll be honest, I'm on some medication. I have to go to therapy myself for depression, and it's a lot harder than just being happy. And people don't understand that it truly is an illness. It's not just something that lasts a day or lasts a week. It's basically months at a time or your entire life that you just feel like you don't want to do anything. And it's really more than just being sad. I mean, it really is an illness in a way. It's not we're sick, it's not we'll actually get better, but it's an illness. It's it can cause headaches, it can make you feel sick. The fact that you're sad and you don't want to do anything, you can actually get sick because it lowers your immune system if you're not taking care of yourself correctly. And that's basically all I really want to get into about depression right now. I'm sure I'll make another video at some point talking about depression and my depression and coping skills. But next, let's move on to anxiety and panic disorder. I'm mentioning them together because I as well have both of those. And I feel mentioning it right after depression and then mentioning them together, I feel those three things are really cousins. They usually intertwine. Let's start with anxiety. Anxiety is a lot more than just being worried. It's not oh god, I have a test coming up, I really gotta study for this or I'm gonna fail. It's more oh my god, I'm gonna study 4 hours for this test, I'm gonna forget everything, I'm gonna fail, and then I can't get a job, and then I won't have a life, and I won't go to college, and I won't have kids. It's long-term worry, and it's usually a lot of irrational fear. I myself, when I'm not taking, before I was taking medication rather, because I have medicine for this as well, I would be so terrified to do things because I would be afraid I would get yelled at. I would go out to a restaurant and my sister would have to order my food for me because I felt like if I ordered food, the waitress was gonna hate me. And obviously that's like really kind of stupid because it's like, it's their job. They get paid to serve you. And I have been getting better with that, with like medication and therapy. But it really is like immense irrational fear. And it's like with everything in your life. Like it's could be small stuff and your brain just expands it to like so much fear. And then there is this thing that comes with anxiety called anxiety attacks. Anxiety, I forget which one it goes to because there's anxiety attacks and there's panic attacks, and they're like the same but different. I think we'll start to talk about panic disorder and then we'll get back to these. Panic disorder is more like when your fight or flight responses kick in for unusual things. Like me, if I have a math test, it's like, oh my god, what am I gonna do? It's almost like I'm preparing myself for like impending doom. And it's like there really is no need to. And then with panic attacks and anxiety attacks, it's like basically there's like, I'll tell you like the symptoms because it's really hard to explain it. It's like when you reach like your peak of worrying, your whole body just spazzes out. And I don't know what your symptoms are. Feel free to comment them and tell me like about what your anxiety and stuff is. But me, it's like I will hyperventilate and my heart will beat really, really fast, and then I'll start crying and I'll be shaking, like I will just be vibrating. And it's just like I can't calm down, and it's basically like an adrenaline rush. And then panic attacks I think are like the same thing, but one of the differences between the two is like one lasts longer and one is like usually like over fairly quickly. I think it's panic attacks that are the shorter ones where it's like it could last like 10 minutes, where anxiety attacks I think are where like I had one that was like an hour long once, and it's like really terrible because this whole time you basically feel like you're having a heart attack and you feel like you're going to die because you're hyperventilating and like you can't breathe and you feel like you're going to pass out, and it's like really this terrifying thing. So it's this thing that happens because you're terrified, and then it just adds a whole nother level of terror. And it really is a serious thing, but misconceptions people have about that is just stop worrying, or why are you getting worried? It's just a test. They don't understand, like, you can't control it. Like, you could tell us, like, there's no need to worry, it's fine, you'll be fine. But when we're in that state of mind, it's hard for us to listen and believe that. So don't tell us, like, there's no reason to worry. We honestly know that there's no reason to worry. We know it's irrational fears. And so don't get mad at us because we can't calm down. Alright, so the next one I want to talk about is bipolar disorder. I'm not quite sure if I have this, but I know a little bit about it. Bipolar disorder is when you can go from extreme highs to extreme lows. Now, the misconception about that is it's extremely happy to extremely sad. No, it's extreme highs and extreme lows. So it could be, when you're extreme high, it could be extreme adrenaline, where you actually worry more and you scream and you yell because there's just so much energy, to extreme lows to where you're just falling apart and crying in a corner. So it's not really happy and sad. They think I might have it because I will go from like extreme anxiety to just tears. A misconception a lot of people have about that is it's really hard to diagnose because usually the signs of it are depression, anxiety. So it does take like a lot of stuff to be able to handle it. And with that too, I guess it's just like be careful not to tick a person off if they're like bipolar, because it's like they could go from like happy, joyful to like I hate you in like a matter of like 0.3 seconds. So just be like really careful with them, because it's not like they're even being mean to you, it's just they themselves have like a mental breakdown. And I guess this one kind of goes with, like, everything. Like, the depression, the anxiety, maybe bipolar, is insomnia. I'm not sure if it's really a mental disorder, but I think, like, these things can cause it, so I'm gonna mention it, and if you don't like it, oh well. Insomnia is not just, oh, I can't sleep. Well, basically, but it's not like, oh, it's not just like a rare occasion. It's like every night where it's like lying awake for hours just thinking and thinking, and it's kind of like you can't shut off your brain. And then it's like really hard because you can't sleep, you can't function. And a thing about not being able to sleep is it makes like all of your anxiety like that much worse because you're sleep deprived. Like, I know me, when I'm not on my sleeping medication, I will maybe get like 4.5 hours of sleep max because it takes me that long to fall asleep and stay asleep. And then it's like the next day, because you're tired, you're just like falling asleep in class, and then with depression you don't really care, but then your anxiety is skyrocketing because you're worried about everything. So I don't know if it's really a mental disorder, but I think since it's like you can't shut your brain off, and it does intertwine with these other problems, I'm mentioning it. Next one that is actually more of a mental disorder. I know a little bit about this because my biological father had it, and I just know some common knowledge about it and stuff, but it's OCD disorder. People, like, think with OCD it has to be, like, my way or the highway. It's really not. It's not people wanting it their way. It's they need it that way so that they don't have a mental breakdown. Like, it's not them being anal, like, I need to organize everything. It's, this needs to be organized, otherwise it's going to annoy me to no end. Like, I don't have it, so I can't explain it. So if you have OCD, please feel free to comment below more about it, because I don't know too much, and I definitely don't want to state false information about it. But with that, it's just, don't make fun of someone for having it. Don't make jokes about it, because they really probably don't want to do it either. And it takes a lot of therapy and a lot of meds, and sometimes people still aren't better. So basically, don't joke about any of these. Like, the worst is when people make jokes about it. You know, like, don't joke about it. Like, you don't sit there and, like, you just don't joke about it, alright? You don't sit there and joke about someone's dead dog because it'd make them sad, right? Don't joke about mental illnesses because it kills us that, like, to be made fun of when we can't control it. Like, honestly. It's an illness, alright? And a lot of these things can lead to, like, suicide and suicidal thoughts because these are really, really hard to handle. And then when you make fun of us, it just makes it a whole lot worse. I don't really want to get too into suicide. That's for, like, a different video. But yeah, basically, happy Mental Health Awareness Month. Make sure to show a lot of support, especially if you know anyone with mental disorders, and maybe your friends or your family. If you have questions, you can leave them below. If there's something you think I missed, please feel free to comment below. Don't hesitate to subscribe, like, and I will leave some of my social networking below, like my Kik and stuff. If you ever feel like you need to talk about your problems, I will be there to talk with you, because I know what it's like, and the worst is to feel like you don't have anyone to talk to. That's all for right now. I'm Lainey, and I hope I will see you guys next time. Toodaloo!